Hello, children. We have a very special episode today. We have a guest. As you know, my sisters are the most beautiful, most brilliant, and funniest people I know. That's why we had Nunki, my baby sister, on twice. Cello, my younger sister, she was on one pod. You can go to Spotify and listen to those episodes. For today, we have the wise, my Gandalf, Atimia. She has been the one I've looked up to for direction, guidance. And yun nga, she was the super ate. But to her friends, she was the class clown. She was a writer. I've always seen my ate as like Tina Fey or Liz Lemon. And her career and her story is so interesting kasi yun nga, when we were in college, it was a time na parang PNG or die. There weren't that much options. So she really had to find herself and find her way. And now, she's super successful. And that career journey of hers brought her all over the world. Okay, so she's been to Boston, she's gone to Hong Kong, Washington, and now she's in Singapore making another big move, and she's happily married. She has a great job. So it's a real success story. And I just wanted all the pod kids to listen to this. So we split the episodes into two. This one, we talk about her job. We talk about, all the different decisions she's made in her life. And then part two is we just hang out. So we called her, and I'm just glad that she's on the show. Let's go.
Why it takes so long? I'm tired of talking.
Welcome to the Wake Up with Saab podcast. Hey.
We've got a special guest for you today.
I have meron akong intro.
Okay, go.
No. I will record it after the episode.
Okay.
So they will know you by now, Timia.
How?
He's gonna record the intro when
and then
we
you're gonna
upload
after.
it. Yeah.
All right.
I'm gonna say what
Like
you do.
like a professional podcast.
So
Nice.
there won't be any inside jokes, Cats.
Got it.
Yeah, feel free to whatever.
Anyway, well, I wanted to call because one, I want you to share your career journey.
Oh. Sounds exciting.
Very
It is.
exciting.
It is,
You've
yeah.
had
And the funny thing is, si Saab, until now, doesn't completely know the full story.
I know some of
Like,
it.
diba, parang nung isang araw mo lang nalaman na ano yun? Cheche.
Hindi, alam ko yun. Cheche Lazaro, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, anyway.
Pro Productions. No, just a little backgrounder. When Jim and I started dating, around the time, I think you were leaving for Boston again.
Yes.
something.
I think when we met, I was still working for ABS-CBN, but we actually met even before that when I was in PR and I was doing a shoot for you and your family. Do you remember that?
Oh,
We had met. I don't think you remember me because I was a lowly PR person. But
I know na. Is this for Coke?
yes. And then your dad was
Yeah,
there.
in the house of ano?
Exactly.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Wow, Ate Mia.
Karen Pascual.
You met pa her dad. I never met
Yes.
him.
Well,
Aww.
I handed him Coke and snacks. That's how I met him.
Aww.
And he was
So,
lovely.
nga pala, you did PR pala.
I didn't know you did BR. Okay, sige.
Sige.
Let's tell us the story. After college.
One quick timeline first
Yes.
of college, and then ano yung next?
Because we have a lot of listeners who ask us for career advice, so I feel like they would learn a lot from this. So after college, what did you take up?
So I took
Wala.
up mass comm in Ateneo. And I think at that point, I was harboring dreams of being in TV or being a journalist. I think I always wanted to be like a reporter. So shortly after college, I applied for probe team. I don't know. I'm pretty sure your listeners are not familiar with that anymore, but they were like with 60 minutes.
It's the equivalent of. It's the equivalent of.
Why are you doing my
BuzzFeed.
voice? It's like the equivalent.
No, Pro Productions actually is
It's not BuzzFeed. It's legit. Diba? It's like
Pro
super
Productions-
serious.
Current
Can I finish?
affairs.
Can I finish?
Sorry. Okay. Go.
Pro Productions was behind Five and Up, the kiddie show.
Yes.
The kiddie magazine show,
Yes.
where Atom Araulo started. So I think our listeners would know who Atom is. He was part of this magazine type show for kids called Five and Up, and that's how I found out about Probe Productions. They also had a thing for older people, which was, what's the name of the show? Probe Productions, ba? Or
Probe team.
or
So I think Five and Up was really
Yeah.
like a project like inspired by Probe Team, which was, I guess, it's like 60 minutes. They take like a whole hour to
Yeah.
kind of go into different current affairs, issues, hard hitting journalism. It was very hardcore. So that was my first job as a PA, I think for like a year. That was interesting.
1 year lang ba yun?
Yeah. 1 year, but it felt longer because I lived in the studio about like 5 days out of the week.
that's so cool.
Yeah.
What would you do?
So I was a PA.
Nakakatawa. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you.
No.
And that's
Go.
bad hosting practice.
It's okay.
And I always do that.
Okay, it's not about you.
Let's talk about
So-
that.
Okay. Hindi.
Why do you think you cut people off?
Hindi. Wait. The funny thing is, during this time at Mia, I had no idea what work was. So what you're telling me now is very new information. Like, I had no concept of basta parang you were out.
What year was this?
2006.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where were you, Jim?
So I was
we were in
11.
Third year
screw
college
you.
na tayo nun.
Nag-overlap pa
Or second
tayo
year.
in college.
I was in college.
Yeah.
And then Ate Mia was in... Okay, sorry. Go. And then... so how was it? What were you doing?
Wait lang, sorry. Ang daming cut. Sorry. Wait lang, before... I'm just curious. I was gonna ask you after everything, but I'm curious, why did you want to get into TV or journalism or, those things? What inspired you to do that, to take up comm and everything?
I think, I didn't have any other talents. Honestly, that was it. It was just more of like... until that point, all I was known for and all I was really good at was, being in front of an audience, making people laugh, writing, communicating. So malamang I ended up in comm. And I think that's what ended up kind of leading me to Probe Team, honestly. I don't know. I just couldn't see myself doing anything else.
And then, when you got there, what is prod life like? Yun na lang.
Prod life basically is like, I don't know. It's a devotion. It's like the ultimate dedication to craft, to your art. Because I literally had like an overnight bag I would pack on Sunday night. And then Monday morning, I would come in, usually go on an early shoot, and Probe Team goes everywhere. Like, I've been to like Quezon City Jail. I've been to Cotabato. I've been to City Hall. I've been into the slums interviewing, different kinds of people. And, my first 3 months, I was really just sort of a shadow to the amazing field producers of that team. And then eventually I also started like interviewing. And then after all those shoots, I would go back to the office and transcribe all of those different interviews so that my producer can go through all of that, write her script, and then I would basically like have dinner with the rest of the team, and then at night edit until like there was
Wow.
yeah, there's
Edit video?
yeah. So there was offline edit pa yung Betacam type of thing with like all the dials. And then when I graduated from that, I could do Final Cut Pro, pero super basic. So that was like your
Whoa.
yeah. So that was your average day. I also had a sleeping bag that I would have in the edit suite. And then I would go home, maybe Friday or like maybe Wednesday. I could squeeze in like a night.
No idea. And then ilan kayong PA dun?
At that time, it was like a team of 12, 12. So we were like two PAs, and then the rest were producers. And then we had our cameramen and sound crew, etc. It was just really lean team. And I think,
That's so cool.
yeah, it was really, I think it was like my first introduction into what a job out of passion should be or should be like. Literally, like you wake up and you write, you go to sleep in front of the edit machine. Parang that's all you think about, that's all you do. And I think ideal talaga siya for like a first job because you're so young and you're like, yes, I have all of the energy and the passion to be a part of this.
So, as the firstborn of the Bacarro clan, were your parents like super, as in supporting you all the way, as in taking you to work? And, I feel like I can't imagine, Jim, once Pancho and Vito start working, oh my gosh.
Pupunta ako sa
Tawag ako sa boss nila na, excuse me, bakit ayaw niyo pa uwiin yung anak ko?
Oo nga.
Well,
Matutulog daw dyan si Mia?
totoo ba talaga yun? Well, honestly, I found out years later that my very first out-of-town shoot, which was, well, one was in Subic, as in I did underwater dive in the shipwrecks. That was pretty cool.
Whoa!
But then the big one was in
No idea.
I know. Or maybe you weren't listening. Feeling ko you weren't listening.
He's too self-absorbed.
Because I would go home and tell you guys stuff. So, but my favorite one was when we went to South Cotabato. It was a piece on the Tinalak. It's like a textile done by the Tiboli tribe based there. And we were there for like 5 days. And then years later, Papa revealed to me that he had called some friend of, the LGU, whatever, who was trailing us or would check in on me and my crew every now and then. I had no idea.
Oh, wow.
I had a shadow. The most junior person on that team had a shadow as well. So, I was really, yeah. But
So, after Probe, you decided, diba, medyo mas corporate stuff na? That was yung mga PR. Parang you got burnt out,
yeah.
so you tried something more steady, so PR.
Yeah.
And then, after PR, ito yung... In case you don't know, Saab and I have a band called Cheats. Since we can't perform for the next few months, we decided to make a video series called Cheats Inside Your Home. We re-recorded and rearranged old songs and performed them from our own homes. Hope you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, bit.ly/cheatsmusic. That's bit.ly/cheatsmusic. All our music videos, lyric videos, and this series is there. Kalma. Huminga ng malalim. Okay, I can't do it as good as the movie, but I'm just happy to say that we at Linya Linya finally made our first short film. We've been working so hard on building the Linya Linya universe and our own characters, and they come to life in our short film called Kalma. It's available on Facebook and IGTV. Ali and I are so proud of the product and the reception, and we hope that you could watch the video, share it with your loved ones, and spread this message of hope. While I have you, we have new designs on www.linyalinya.ph, where 10% of all sales will go to our beneficiaries. Thank you so much for your support. Ito, I think, I was sort of listening during these times naman. So I kind of remember. Pero si Sab, I want her to hear it. Like, after that, you joined Star Cinema.
Yes. I think,
Diba?
yes. I think that was that. I don't remember how it came to me, but I remember signing up right away. I was only at my previous like PR corporate job for 9 months, and I saw looking for aspiring screenwriters to write the next big love story. Oh, diba? Parang of course, as someone who like wrote plays and like wrote sketches and stuff growing up, that was like the ideal path. So I would go first Star Cinema, next like Hollywood. Then after, and then
Wow.
I had all those like big dreams, I think, during that time. And I auditioned, I wrote treatments to get in, and then, I had no experience, but thankfully the creative director, who is still the most successful creative director until this day at Star Cinema, got me in. And it was
What's her name again?
Vanessa Valdez. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then
Um,
they got you as a screenwriter.
It was more of a development executive. So it was like working with screenwriters, with a path to be my own screenwriter someday if, any of my concepts got approved. Yeah. Really interesting because I think going in, of course, people have a lot of misconceptions about Pinoy cinema. I don't know if that's like inappropriate to talk about, but like people think na ang dali-dali lang gumawa ng, pelikula. See, I have to say talaga pelikula. But
Pelikulang Pilipino.
yes, exactly.
Why? I don't get it. What is that? Is that why?
It's often used, right? That the pelikulang
Okay.
Filipino. And I think there's just again a great degree of dedication and like devotion. But not only that, the structure or the formula is there. Yes, so everything follows similar beats, diba, in like a rom-com. Pero the challenge is, how do you make that different? How do you make that unique? How do you make it kilig? And how do you make the stars look good together and apart? So
would you mind naming a few movies that you helped write?
yeah, so there was, I think the one that actually kind of made it out in my 3 years there was Babe, I Love You, which was a Sam Milby and Curtis movie.
Ooh.
Yes. It when you watch it, it looks like a breeze, but it was like 14 drafts of a script.
Oh, wow. Doon ba ano yung memorable quote doon?
Parang wala akong maalala.
Di ba? Yun ba yung parang, I never told you that I loved you. Parang gano'n. Di ba may gano'n?
Parang that's not so
Ibang movie ba yun?
memorable.
Parang
I don't know. My friends kept quoting that. It was a Sam Milby line. I don't remember if that's...
I remember nga rin seeing some of our friends posting the movie, and then I told Sab na, you know what, to me was part of this. May scene dun na. Anyway, my question is, how many out of how many proposals for stories ang pumasok? Ilan ang binato, ilan ang nakapasok?
oh my god, I can't even count. I probably, together with different teams, wrote maybe 100 treatments. And only one was made during my 3 years. And there were a couple that were under review, and then last minute nag-back out yung star or nag-back out yung producer o kung anong drama, nag-scandal tong artista. So like,
So kung wait lang. For example, itong Babe, I Love You. How did it start? Like someone will pitch it, or you'll sit down, all of you, and be like, okay, let's brainstorm. Ano ba?
so I may be revealing a
I'm sorry, I'm just really curious.
Yeah, I think the standard way, I guess, is to come up with a great story, right? That's the ideal way. But with Star, I think para silang old Hollywood studio system in that they have a stable of stars. I mean, I don't even need to tell you that, Sab. But like that system that basically drives their schedule for the year. So, kunwari, ay, kailangan meron tayong bigyan para kay Casey Concepcion
Kathniel,
or like
Kathniel.
John Lloyd and Angelica, ganyan. And Kathniel, sorry, I'm not beyond my time na yung Kathniel. And then you're
So
right.
parang basically, here are our star players. We need 5 of the Angelica whatever,
Yes.
3 ganyan.
Yes.
And then make stories.
Correct.
Now, how many, was there anyone in your team that was, I'm sure kasi ikaw, parang, kumbaga, you're still, kumbaga, you're still knowledgeable in, okay, of course I want to make something beautiful, but parang kumbaga, I can't make a story about John Lloyd having cancer. Diba? And it's a drama
Yeah.
about, So you had a balance of ano ba, business and the arts.
Correct.
Did you have anyone in the team na parang striving na, hey, this is the next American Beauty, ganon?
I think like 80% of the people there.
Really?
I mean, you have everyone comes in to make movies, right? That's their dream, and that's the kind of passion that drives them into this type of work. So as you get seasoned and as you kind of progress in your career, you realize that actually a film is not just one person's idea and baby. It's like all these different factors, and business most likely will be at the top of that heap.
What part of the process though, kasi you said kanina, di ba, people think it's so easy to make movies because mampapangit ng mga lumalabas, di ba? Di ba? And like parang, why do people, and until now, like, I can't help myself, but wow, this is blatant shit. Kumari, yung Vic Soto movie or whatever. My question is, what part of the process, kasi sabi mo, like 80% of the team are like, hey, let's make the next American Beauty. I don't know why I keep on
Sobrang
the
dated
reference.
ng American Beauty.
Oh, okay, Goodwill Hunting.
Shakespeare
ganun.
in Love.
So,
Gusto mo?
ganun. So, kuwari, what part of the process nawawala yun? Na bakit biglang nagiging...
Because it has to sell.
Yeah.
I know, pero there's still a balance naman eh. I mean, Hollywood movies, they
I
have
think
to sell.
I think I'm not out of line when I say na it's so much different now. Ate Mia, is that right? No?
Yeah.
Ibang-iba na ngayon. Like, you see the quality of films that come out now. Not lagi. Of course, there are still some that are pretty talagang money-making lang talaga. But I see more and more na may heart talaga, and alam mong pinaglaban ng writers.
Oh, definitely naman.
Can I ask, Ate Mia, what from the recent ones, or kahit hindi naman recent, which ones are notable for you? Kailangan indie or mainstream, whatever.
I am the first to admit that when I left Star, I haven't really watched a lot. As in, I don't know why I can't get myself to. There's something, I don't know if there's like something there, but like I see it on Netflix, I see it on Hook or anywhere, like all these different. I haven't really like gotten to that point yet where I've gone back to like mainstream. But in terms of indie, I don't know. I can't even remember anymore. Is that sad? Ooh, I'm embarrassed.
No.
Were you able to see King Palisok's film?
Yes, I was. And King
Tandem?
Yeah, Tandem, because King was actually my co-writer for Babe I Love You. So that's yeah.
Yeah, I mentioned King because Ate Mia, he's one of your friends, right? Yeah. So,
Hindi, ako naman. So, my point is, specifically, yung what I'm referring to is, what I'm referring to are yung mga Enteng Kabisote 10.
Shake Rattle 45, ganyan.
Mga kabayo something. But of course, we have so many, not just friends, pero we see the films that are coming out, and kaya nga kaya I'm asking Ate Mia kasi most of these people who start in Star Cinema, diba, Ate Mia, they end up joining new teams, or they join a prod house that's more independent, and they come up with beautiful movies.
Yeah.
And look, case in point, si King.
Yeah, and I think what's nice though, as it's becoming like a deep dive into like star cinema, but what I've
Oh,
known,
I love this.
what I what I've noticed though, and much credit goes to some of the colleagues that I still have there. So there was a time I feel in mainstream Pinoy cinema when I was there where it was, the expectations were set. This is what sells. Kilig sells. Happy endings sell. Huwag mo patayin yung protagonist kasi people are going to get mad. Yung mga ganyang, yung mga forums, I forget na the forums we would always look at secretly to see how fans are reacting to our films. But then
Pinoy Exchange?
Yes, mga ganyan. Pinoy Exchange. Grabe.
Female Network.
It was strange assignments. Like, uy, nakita mo yung post ni ganyan. I'm like, I don't even know. Like, that's a random person out.
Oo nga, imagine mo kung may Twitter nun.
Oh man.
Exactly.
How are they working now?
Lahat hashtag canceled.
Exactly.
Ano yung ito niya. Ano yung pinaka like, oh my god, this will drive me to resigning.
Well,
Like-
I did resign.
Yes. ano yung mga usual na parang hindi masyadong parang yung best friend dapat dapat corny yung best friend or mga ganun, what mga stereotype na kagulo.
I think the one time that I really was so heartbroken was when I pitched the story about, I think she was like, at that point, a very loose woman. Alam mo yun, someone who was like sexually adventurous and, was like an emotionally broken woman. And then who eventually obviously finds herself. And then when I presented her and you talk about the character and her history and stuff, and you had all these like people saying, parang ang dumi-dumi niya. Parang ang ano niya, parang slutty. And, I was
Slotty.
I was like, this
Siya,
is...
sa Vegas.
Kaya nga parang, kailangan ba talaga pok-pok na yung babae? Parang, so,
Ay, nag-sex na siya.
nag-sex na siya before marriage.
Ay, nag-sex. Hindi yan pwede sa Catholic country. Gano'n.
Yeah, but that was 2008, 2009. Like, what the hell? So, alam mo yun, I think that...
And after that, did you get so pissed because after that it was all the affairs movies?
Exactly. Thank you. And
Star Cinema ba yung mga yun?
of course.
I know.
Now it's coming to me that concept was centered around fuck buddies. And then they were like,
Oh,
and they focused on the girl like, ay, kadiri naman yung girl. Pero yung guy, okay lang na may magka-fuck buddy. And then now, GMA, Star, all of them have been releasing these like fuck buddy falling in love movies.
Yun talaga. I mean, actually, kami at like recently, like we met with a label, and we were in a boardroom and we played our
Music label.
songs, music label for the band, and we played our songs, and it was so. It just reminded me lang of everything that you're saying. Yung ganong that level of disconnect.
mga okay boomer.
Oh man.
I remember
pretty-
from your first album and stuff, yung how you guys were styled. Well, Earnville pa to yung mga ganon.
So, when after you left Star Cinema, while you were in Star Cinema, you super wanted to get out, diba? You super wanted to get out of the Philippines. That's why you were working so hard to get accepted
Yeah.
in a university, diba?
I
For
don't
your masters.
I don't know if it was that kind of straightforward. I think there was just a point wherein I was like looking at my colleagues and my bosses who were so good at their jobs and were willing to really literally bleed for their work. And I was like, I don't want to do this. I haven't been home. And at that point, I developed some very bad habits. The sobrang taba ko pa. Like, alam mo yun, sobrang taba, ang daming acne. Like, there's just There's just like this weight, literal weight on me to make a change and to maybe come to terms that baka this isn't the life for me. Like looking for jobs that were like that required my entire soul. Yeah, and I thought maybe leaving Manila would be like a nice kind of break, a nice opportunity. Yeah, so I was very fortunate enough to be able to find that kind of ticket.
Parang that's something talaga with broads, no? Parang may unhealthy eating habits talaga pag stressed ka siguro talaga, no?
I think ano rin it's not just about sa prods Parang the whole industry naman ako, I was in advertising.
Yeah.
And tama si Ate Mia parang it requires your whole soul. And then there are just people who get to a point who ask themselves, is this something that I really want to devote my whole soul to?
Yes.
And if it's a yes, then they become an industry lifer. If not, they go to Boston.
Well, wow, that should be on a wall somewhere.
Before Wait, before we get to Boston, pwedeng isang ano lang, chika lang. Who's the you don't have to name names. Who's the bitchiest or pinaka-kupal na celebrity that you encountered? Any weird encounters or funny ones?
Funny ones, actually.
and
I'm happy to say that I haven't had any like bad interactions. I think maybe people behind the scenes are actually worse.
Oh.
So mga directors, mga ganyan, like producers who, I think there was that culture that's long been passed down. Yung mga putang na kayo, wala kayo na. Yung mga ganyan, yung one's like yelling at extras. Yung mga ganyan kind of like, it really makes me cringe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, sige.
So you go to Boston, get your masters, then you go to Hong Kong.
Yes.
Diba?
Yes.
You work for Cartoon Network, and then you moved back to Manila, and then
Still with Cartoon Network.
Still with Cartoon Network.
I love that this is feeling like a job interview.
Oh nga.
Walk-
So are you
walk me
and
through your
is-
resume.
Are you able to do Final Cut Pro for our podcast?
Parang yung version na alam ko, 2010. So, no.
So you go to Manila, and then Disney gets you.
Mm-hmm.
So you work for Disney in Singapore, and then you go to Hook,
Yep.
Singapore, and then you go to now you are currently working in Ben and Jerry's, ready to move to Australia. The reason why I lined it up like that is I think tayo Ate Mia, diba, like our generation was so different. Kasi parang we grew up, if you quit your job, you're you know, shoot yourself na lang.
Yeah.
If you quit your job in less than 6 months, pakamatay ka na lang. No chance. No chance in life.
Whoa.
What has
Who
been
was
your...
telling you
Diba?
that?
I mean, ganun... Hindi, pero ganun yung
What
vibe.
generation?
Diba? I mean, ganun yung vibe. Like,
Yeah.
no chance. No chance in life.
Sama sa CV, ganyan.
My question... Yeah. So, siguro ang question ko is like, what would you say about your job hopping? Like, what's your insight now that you're steady, you're married, you have a job that's great, you're moving to Australia. Ano yung parang after all that thing, after that whole shebang, parang ano yung mga lessons learned, or parang in terms of like quitting, when to quit your job, and like
Yeah, we
finding
get that question a
happiness in
lot.
your
When
career.
do you know if it's okay to quit, or when should you quit?
I think, well, Cello had talked about this during her episode, and I just like to say it because it was my advice. So, just...
Nice
just-
callback.
Yeah.
Listen to that episode.
Please listen to that episode with Cello. So it's always been sort of my kind of personal view that you really don't know what you want in a job until you're there. So sometimes you can say, I'm going to be a writer. I'm going to be the biggest producer, in the Philippines, or I'm going to be a CEO of a PR agency or whatever. But you don't really know what that takes until you see it in front of you. And when you see it day in, day out, and you like it, then continue on. It's like a board game. Okay, I'm not even going to use a board game metaphor, but it's more of like you keep progressing, diba? Because you want to be that person. You want to be that amazing CEO who treats everyone really fairly and is super smart and very charismatic. Yun. So in my jobs, I would look to, I guess, my manager or my manager's manager and see, like, is this where I want to be? Do I want, to spend all of my hours writing love stories, but I don't have my own? I don't have a love story of my own.
Aww.
And that's, I mean, that was what helped me kind of leave that job. And then you keep continuing. And then sometimes, you'll get really lucky and you have offers that come out of nowhere. Like, the Disney job was a dream come true, but it also came out of nowhere from a connection that I had made in some of my older jobs. And you entertain it and you see and you satisfy that curiosity and you just, I wish that everything had a very specific reason, but honestly, I went with the flow. And then pivoted when I needed to. I don't know if that makes sense.
That's true. Kasi, especially, when you say nga na, you have to be there. Diba? When you were in probe, oh, it's so nice to have a 9 to 5 in a PR agency. PR sounds so nice. Ako, the reason why I applied for advertising was because I was deep diving Mad Men. And I said, I want to be Pete Campbell. Ganun lang. Parang ang astig siguro. Like, I want to take clients out and like have drinks with them. Sobrang hindi ganun. And I had to work there to find out. And then, yun nga. And then, exactly, lahat yung sinasabi mo, I would always look at my boss. I'd look at them and say, ganito bang dream ko sa sarili ko?
Yeah.
And if hindi, I'm not willing to go overnight and finish in PowerPoint, diba? Parang it's not fun for me. And then pivot.
Although I think naman before you say kaagad na I quit, you guys really like
Thought it through.
went through parang hardships and parang just to see if kaya, ganon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. So, okay. Now, you said kanina na parang your dream was to be a writer. Sorry, don't.
Sorry.
You said na to be a writer, to be a writer for like Tina Fey, That dream didn't push through. What are your thoughts on broken dreams?
Well, you know what? It took a while, I have to admit, to kind of make peace with that. And sometimes maybe that's why I said, right, I don't really watch Pinoy movies these days because there's still a bit of maybe if I stuck on, I would be this and that. There's always going to be that. But then I look at where I did end up and I see sort of what I traded to get where I am now. And one more thing is a dream is not finite and forever. It can continue to evolve and actually completely change altogether. And I think the job switching and the career journey, I think that's the best time to do that is in your 20s because then you have no regrets. Like, okay, I tried it out. I tried as a PA. I tried it out as a writer. I tried out in advertising, whatever. And then when you're in your 30s, when, frankly, real life hits you and you think, oh, shoot, I need to pay rent. I need to be able to support my family. I need stability, sometimes, you instead of reaching for your dream that's just your own, you reach for dreams of the collective, like me and my partner, me and my family, or me and my parents. And not only that, sometimes the ultimate dream becomes balance. You may not have achieved, what you wanted, but you have a balance of everything that will make you at least happy for now. Does that make sense? Parang,
Yeah.
Super.
is that?
That's my that's my thing.
Ah.
Actually,
That's
Ate
my
Mia,
thing.
I just love all your stories. I think you should continue writing. I think you should write a book. I
think-
would so read that. That's because all of your stuff is so funny.
I think Atimia and Cello should start a podcast produced by me.
Oh my
80%
God.
cut tayo, ha?
Oh my God.
I seriously can do it.
We will just be interrupting each other, and you will just be rolling your eyes. And then we'll.
Wait.
Okay, this is it.
I'm
He's getting
serious.
carried away.
He's
He's not
brainstorming
listening
on the
na.
spot. Yeah.
Okay. Ano na lang. Offline. So, okay. I'm sure, like, I mean, you, for sure, Atimia was the one who guided me throughout my whole... Uy, nag-wine pala to.
Ay, ba't wala tayong wine?
I mean, it's 5 o'clock na, so.
Nakalimutan ko sa I wrote in my notes. We were supposed to start off with how is it in Singapore in terms of the COVID?
Oo nga.
Great segue. I thought you'd never ask.